After all the interviews Oprah Winfrey did, she noticed the number one thing that people want is happiness. Happiness for her equals freedom. Freedom from oneself. So on this week's episode, we're reviewing The Wisdom of Sunday by Oprah Winfrey right now. So this book was really interesting. Essentially, it's a mashup of all the greatest interviews that Oprah did and what she got out of it. So I'm gonna go over the 6 best ideas that I got from reading this book. The first best idea is cause and effect, the yin and yang, karma. So these are all things that we've probably already heard of in our lives, but do we truly understand it? And it's so evident over here in the book that Oprah really believes in the cause and effect. So much so that she actually gives an example of a time that she wanted to be in the movie The Color Purple, but she didn't know anybody that was involved with the movie. She wanted it so much, she manifested so much, that Steven Spielberg, the director of the movie, called her and offered her a role. Now, I don't want to sidetrack too much on the law of attraction and the law of manifestation, so let's get back to the cause and effect. So essentially, what that means is whatever you put out in the universe, you will get it back. So if you're putting out negative energy, if you're negative towards somebody or thought about something, that's going to come back right to you. And the opposite is true as well. So if we're going to put out positive energy, good vibes, you're going to get it back. Now, it might not be from that specific person or that specific situation, but some way, somehow, it will come back to you. And another thing that I found interesting, the last ever show that Oprah Winfrey did on the Oprah Winfrey Show, she presented this clip from The Color Purple. I'm going to show it to you guys right now.
I should have locked you up and just let you out to work.
The jail you plan for me is the one you're gonna rot in.
Celia, get in the car. Get in the car.
I knocked you up on...
Everything you've done to me, already done to you.
And it's interesting to see over here, the woman that was getting beaten up by her husband for years and years stops and says, whatever you have done to me has already happened to you. So that's essentially the cause and effect. So be very aware of what you're putting out there. The second best idea is death is the greatest teacher. And in fact, this is my favorite one. And the reason why is because this is something that I have personally been practicing for years in my life without even knowing that I was practicing this. And then when I read it like this, that the death is the greatest teacher of life, I started scratching my head like, what does she mean? And the way that she explains it and kind of goes about it is really interesting. She makes us think of, obviously, everybody gets born and everybody's gonna die. And if you think about your death, you will come back and appreciate the present moment. And the small things that we might take for granted, you don't take it for granted anymore. So if you think of maybe loved ones not being with you in the future, maybe it'll make you pick up a phone and call them and tell them that you love them right there. And you'll just understand that time frame. And personally, this is something that, like I said, I've been practicing without even knowing. I think about my death, which is not something fun to think about. It's actually pretty crazy. But I think about, what am I going to leave behind? What are the people going to say once they go and give their eulogy about me or anything of that sort? And then once I think of all the great things that I want them to say, I come back to reality and say, okay, what do I have to do to create that? So if I want my family to say he was an amazing brother, son, and all these great things, if I want my future kids to say he was a great father, what do I have to do right now to get to that point? So we don't necessarily need to wait for death to learn from death. We could do it right now. And we know as well, a lot of people that have had near-death experiences have learned so much from them. All this part is saying is, don't necessarily wait for that death situation or near-death environment in your life to really learn from it. You can learn from it just by thinking about it. The third best idea is mindfulness. And I love that she goes into this and talks about it with many of the people that she interviewed. And essentially what mindfulness is, it's being in the present moment. And one way to get to mindfulness is through a practice of meditating. And a lot of people ask me questions about meditating. So either it's my one-on-one coaching clients, or when I'm on stage and I get off, the people come up to me and say, Chris, how do you meditate? Because every time I've tried, there's too many thoughts in my mind and I just can't think of nothing. So right off the bat, let me just clear up a misconception. It's impossible not to think of anything. So when a thought comes into your mind while you're meditating or doing any sort of form of mindfulness practices, appreciate the thought, take it in. And maybe then you could push it away and go back to the activity. Or you just let it be. There's no right or wrong answer in this. You just kind of go with the flow. And one example that I got from the book was when you're taking a shower, when's the last time you were actually taking a shower? That you actually feel the water dripping down your shoulder, going into your hair. And you're not thinking about the meeting that you have that's coming up, or oh my God, is the coffee ready? I have to run out, am I late? And all this stuff. When you're really in that present moment, you're in a state of mindfulness. And that creates different wave vibrations in your mind. And you go in the state of alpha and theta. And once you are in those states, I've experienced that the greatest ideas come in those states. So when you're just, even like imagine you're washing the dishes and you're just, the warm water is touching you, you're just kind of getting in your bubble. Ideas come from that. So that's why a lot of business people actually meditate, not only for the relaxing aspect of it, but a lot of great ideas come from that moment. All my greatest business ideas come from my meditative sessions. So try it out. The fourth best idea of the book is set an intention. Now for anybody that knows Oprah and follows her content, knows that this is her cardinal rule. She sets an intention on everything she does. She believes, in fact, that we are co-creating our lives with the universe. And the way we do that is by setting intention and the energy we put behind it. And I truly believe that as well. And if you think about it, the only way you're really going to succeed on something is you actually have to set the intention. And if you set the intention, you have a higher chance of succeeding and accomplishing whatever you set. Now, a lot of successful people are successful because they set their intention on everything. Not just on the yearly goals, the quarterly goals, or whatever. They set their intention on every activity they're doing. So if they have a meeting coming up, they ask themselves, what is the intention of this meeting? Or if they're going to spend time with their kids, what is the intention of me spending time with my kids? And if you put an intention on everything, even the fact that if you're going on vacation, set your intentions, you will get better results out of it. So start putting that in your daily practices. Set intentions on everything that you're doing, and once you have that target or that intention, you will create it and you will attract it so much easier and accomplish it as well. The fifth best idea is spiritual GPS. Oprah goes ahead and explains that every time in life that she has succeeded at something in a great level, she has listened to her inner GPS, her inner voice, her gut. And when she's ignored that voice, she hasn't gotten the result that she wanted. And I truly believe this to be true because I have exactly the same experience. All the greatest deals I've done, it's because I listened to my gut, my instinct, and that inner voice that guided me towards that. And the ones that I have ignored him, or it, or whatever it is, I haven't gotten the result that I wanted. And the way that life, universe, kind of shows it to you, it doesn't do it in a way that it's very obvious. It whispers it to you. So you have to be very aware of the inner gut speaking to you. And another way that she explains this situation is with empowering and disempowering questions. So the way to really activate that. So if you're going through a difficult time right now, don't ask yourself disempowering questions like, how am I going to pay the rent? Or why is this happening to me? Or who caused this in my life? Instead, ask yourself empowering questions like, what is emanating in my life right now? What is my gift to share? And what is my purpose? Once you start asking yourself these questions, the universe and life will kind of have a way of pushing you towards the right direction. You just have to be aware to listen to it. So listen to your inner GPS. The sixth best idea of the book is grace and gratitude. And I love the fact that she talks about this. She explains that if you do gratitude practices, you're just changing the lens that you see the world through. And once you see that through those lenses of just gratitude, it's amazing because more blessings and gratitude will come your way. And one thing that she does is she has a gratitude journal. And this is something that I've been practicing for the last couple of years in my life. And I cannot tell you how much it has changed me in ways that I can't even explain. It's just amazing. So what I'm gonna suggest you guys to do is just get a book or anything that you could write on, and every single morning you wake up, write 3 things that you are grateful for, that you are blessed about. And it doesn't have to be big. It could be anything, like I'm grateful to have had supper with my friends yesterday evening. I'm grateful to start another day. I'm grateful to go to this job. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for breathing. As simple as that, right? And once you start developing your gratitude, you'll be so much more aware of all the blessings around you. Because honestly, there is so much around you. All you have to do is just open your eyes and look. So this book was definitely a spiritual journey. I definitely suggest you to pick it up. The way I suggest you to read it, in fact, is not to read it one shot. You could definitely do that, but I think the beauty of this book is actually like a coffee table book. So put it on your table. It's definitely worth it. It's a nice, high-class book, and time to time just open a page and read it. And as you see over here, she has certain like quotes or certain parts of interviews that she's done with some people. So it's interesting to always have it close around you. And that's what I did essentially. The book is called Wisdoms of Sunday. So every Sunday I just open a page and read it, and it takes a couple of seconds. So I definitely suggest you guys to go pick it up. The Amazon link will be in the description below. So you guys know what it is. Live your life on purpose and with